Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to your own Silicon Valley Tech Talks channel. This is your host, Faisal Wattu from San Jose, California. So far in the Silicon Valley Tech Talk episodes, we have talked to multiple founders working on AI startups. Today, we'll get a perspective from a venture capitalist and investor on AI space. We are fortunate to have Pankaj Kedia as our guest today. Pankaj is an entrepreneur turned into an entrepreneur and an inventor turned into an investor. Pankaj has a vast experience of 30 years, which spans across artificial intelligence and device connectivity. Pankaj has worked in big companies and built and grew businesses from scratch. He is the pioneer of wearable business at Qualcomm. He also led the effort of building new device categories at Intel. Pankaj is currently the founder and managing partner of 2468 Ventures. He is also teaching AI to MBA students at University of California, San Diego as an adjunct faculty. So without any further delay, let's go and talk to Pankaj and learn from his experiences and insights. Hello, Pankaj. Welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Faisal. Thanks for having me today.
So, Pankaj, a lot of people today are comparing these AI times with 1990s when the internet boom happened and transformed everything. People believe that AI will have similar effect on everything we do. Uh, and as a result, we see a lot of startups emerging. And I'm sure there are a lot of funding opportunities for investors like yourself. So my question is, do VCs and investors have any criteria as they look at these opportunities and rate certain opportunities higher than the other? I ask you this because this can provide great insights to new entrepreneurs who are thinking about venturing into AI space.
Yeah, yeah. No, the market is down, but AI is up. But before we talk about investing, let's go back. First, I think AI will be bigger than the internet revolution, the mobile revolution, the cloud revolution. It will be bigger than all of the three. I'll talk more about that. Now, uh, the internet was born in 1983. That's when TCP/IP came into being. But the internet as we know it did not really start until 94 or 95 when the first browser came. First, there was the Mosaic browser, then the Netscape browser. Summer of 95, the Netscape IPO happened. And, internet adoption was going like this from 83 to 95. And then it took the hockey stick. The reason it took the hockey stick is the browser gave TCP/IP a UX. It made the power of internet front and center to everybody. And that's how it took off. If I apply the same analogy to AI was born in the 1950s. In the early stage, in the early days, AI was rules-based AI. That's what my master's thesis was. That's what my first job was. Over the last 10 or 15 years, we saw the second coming of AI, which was ML based, big data and ML. Every time we use Uber, every time we use TikTok, every time we use Google search, every time we take a picture, we are using AI, we are using big data and ML to do those things. The latest coming of AI, generative AI, triggered by ChatGPT in November 22, gave AI the UX. ChatGPT is to the browser as AI is to the internet. ChatGPT and Bard and other UX frameworks brought AI front and center. It gave something for you and I to interact with instead of just a B2B function. With the UX, we have seen the rapid growth of AI in terms of awareness, but also in terms of investment activity. So um, it has been a long road. A lot of advancements have happened in AI, in algorithm, in ML, in big data. And the latest coming builds on top of that. And therefore, it is going to be bigger than what internet brought, what mobile brought, and what cloud brought, right? Um, I've been an entrepreneur. I grew a number of businesses inside Intel and Qualcomm. I saw this coming and I decided to go all in. So I have effectively gone from an entrepreneur starting businesses inside big companies to an entrepreneur. I've gone from an inventor to an investor. Yesterday, I was working with, one company at a time, Qualcomm, Intel. Today, I'm working with many, many startups. I'm working with the Intels and Qualcomms of tomorrow, except I'm collaborating with many founders, many CEOs, and it is thrilling. So your question is, um, how do I invest? Who do I invest in? I'm an early stage investor, pre-seed, seed, maybe Series A. And the most important thing I look for is the founder. What if he and she is right? What if her vision, what if his vision comes alive? How big will the market be? So, if the founder is ambitious, not willing to take no for an answer, and the size of the market is big, I'm in. That's kind of round one. Round two, you look at um, what's the problem the founder is solving? What use case is he or her going after? Uh, what is the feedback from the first set of customers? Is the business model there? Is the traction there? Is the founder building a good team? Are they executing? Are they committing to their deliverables and delivering to their commitments? How do the financials look? So all of those things come into the picture. But the most important thing is, what if the vision comes alive? At that stage, if you think about all the reasons the company can fail, you'll never invest. By definition, in early stage, you are so early that you don't have everything sorted out. But if you know where you want to go, and if you are fully committed to getting there, I think that's the recipe for success.
So, Pankaj, there is no doubt that AI will bring a lot of benefits for humans. But at the same time, there are some genuine concerns about AI adoption. And let me share two as an example with you. First one, humans, especially children, will not develop the analytical skills which are organically developed through process of education and problem solving, because now AI is there to solve every problem. Second, humans need to learn how to work with AI, but the pace of AI innovation is much faster than humans learning how to work with AI. Therefore, AI will take over everything, take over humans. So, what is your reaction to these two concerns and how can we mitigate these?
Yeah. Yeah, Faisal, both concerns are real. That's the bad news. The good news, we are talking about it. Congress is talking about it. Key founders like Sam Altman, are talking about it. We are talking about this not just in the US, but around the world. You know, AI is maybe the first technology which is being shaped truly in a global way. More than half the countries, more than 100 countries are actively investing in this. So you have to recognize the problem, you have to do something to solve it. Both of them are happening. Now, I happen to think the benefit, the amazing potential of AI is much, much greater than the enormous peril. Yes, there will be bad actors. Yes, there can be unintended consequences. Yes, if you overdo something, it might backfire. But the benefit exceeds the cost in a much, much greater way, right? Um, the two challenges you described, the impact of the internet and the phone on children. Yes, there have been some unintended consequences, but today's 10-year-olds are much, much smarter, much, much advanced, know much, much more than you and I did when we grew up, without the internet and mobile, right? Um, I think AI will do the same thing. With AI, you don't spend time collecting data, doing the day to day repetitive work. You focus much more on the value add. Um, and it starts with a very early age. Your last point, AI advancing faster than us humans. AI is not something that's out there. AI is something that we are creating, right? Um, so we have the power to shape it. We have the power to pace it. There is a lot of discussion about AGI. I believe AGI will happen. It will happen in this decade. But if we proactively think about how to advance AI to become AGI, I think we can control it. I think we can get a lot of good out of it.
Pankaj, you just talked about the decade, the next decade, right? So if you look back, right, you have an amazing 30-year career, right? We have come a long way in last 30 years. We started with internet. We moved from desktops to laptops to smartphones, iPads, and now we are talking about connecting everything, not just humans. So if I ask you what kind of transformations you are envisioning in this upcoming decade, what would you share?
Yeah, yeah, Faisal, good question. Let's look back before we look ahead, right? Um, I grew up in India. I went to IIT Roorkee 35 years ago, and it was very difficult to connect with people. If I had to call my family, I had to go to this room. I have to place a trunk call, and the people there would connect with my family maybe in 12 or 24 hours. If I wanted to pay 10 times more, I could place a lightning call and it would still take 30 minutes or 60 minutes, right? Um, I came to the US with a single minded goal to help people connect. And we have largely been successful over the last 3 decades in connecting people. Now we are connecting things. Over the last decade, with wearables, and I've been fortunate to find the wearable business at Qualcomm and run it over the last decade. With wearables, they have become an extension of you, a part of you. So literally, you are always connected. So over the last 30 years, as you said, with these technologies, we are always connected. With AI, I call this the AI decade. With AI, you'll be smart about it. You'll be personal about it. You'll be proactive in your connections. So, what do I mean by that? Um, AI will touch every one of us. It will touch the consumer space, the enterprise space. It will make everything we do that much smarter, that much more intelligent. Businesses and consumers will benefit from that. We live in a smart, connected world. Number two, it will be much more personal. You know, um, um, this smartwatch knows who I am, where I am. This knows my vitals. This has data on me about my schedule, about my emails, about my health. It knows a lot about me. We will go from tracking this data to recommending. We'll go from recommending to predicting. We'll do so in a one on one way. We'll do so in a very personalized way. We hear a lot about AI assistants. I think AI assistants will be personal assistants. We talk about generative AI. Um, Generative AI, generating content will be personalized to what I like, what I don't like. So a much more personal experience. In marketing, today, it's basically one to many marketing. Most marketing campaigns are designed for the average consumer, right? They are broadcast in a one to many way. Tomorrow, companies will market to me, the individual. So a much more personalized world. And number three, proactive. AI, as I mentioned, takes us from tracking to recommending, recommending to predicting. If you take the example of healthcare, if I could predict based on my work habits, my lifestyle choices, what I have done over the last few hours, days, months, if I can predict I'm a high potential heart patient, or I might get COVID, or I might get diabetes, if I can do so proactive, I can do something about it, right? Um, Take the example of education. A lot of discussion around one-to-one tutoring using AI. Guess what? If I can predict where you can be in a few weeks or in a few months, I can customize my choices based on how fast you can learn, based on where I think you can be. So, this decade is going to be very exciting. We'll go from connecting each one of us, connecting things around us, to doing so in a smart, intelligent way, in a personalized way, and in a proactive way. And, that opens up a number of possibilities from a startup perspective, from an investment perspective. I'm excited about that. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm working with many, many founders and CEOs who have the same vision and want to get there before anybody else. So it's very exciting time.
Mm. I'm excited too, Pankaj. Uh, in the end, Pankaj, let me ask you a question about your career journey. You have been an achiever. Would you share any advice for young professionals who are either starting their careers or they are in early stage of their careers? Is there a recipe for success?
Yeah, never give up. Don't ever give up. Don't take no for an answer, especially from somebody who does not have the authority to say yes. Early in your career, if somebody says no, most people give up. If somebody says no, but they're not positioned to say yes, you give up. Never do that. Develop your own point of view. Have a strong belief in what the future can be. Know that you can make it so. Steve Jobs wrote many, many interesting things. One of the letters he wrote was around the world around us. The world around us was invented not by people any smarter than you, right? It was invented by people who never gave up, who always had a belief, who always executed to realize that belief. Each one of us can do that. And when I mentor upcoming um, startup founders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, this is what I focus on.
Go. Thank you very much, Pankaj, for joining our show. I'm sure our audience would benefit a lot from the great insights you shared.
Thank you, Faisal. Thank you for having me. It was a delight. We should do it again. Thank you.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you.